Ms. Miranda, I want to thank you so much for your time today to discuss these matters regarding Abel Ortiz. And I just would like you to formally introduce yourself and give us your credentials.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's an honor. Thank you so much for inviting me. I've been practicing law. I graduated in May 1989, so this is going to be my 19th year, and I started in September of '89. So it's just been the most amazing lifetime that I've actually had, because I knew I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney when I was 13 years old. I grew up in New York, and I grew up in Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. And I just saw, it was just a shame how people's rights were violated on a daily basis. And many times it was because they were uneducated, or whether the color of their skin, or they were poor. And so for me, it's been, a dream. I'm living the dream that I had. And I was fortunate enough, I went to Cornell University. I studied at Cornell Law School. They have wonderful programs for minority students, and also financial aid and scholarships. So I started out at the Legal Aid Society. That was my first job, which is what I had dreamed about. I wanted to defend the indigent, and I worked there for about 7 years. And from there I went on to clerk for a judge in Supreme Court that I had actually tried a case in front of, a criminal case. And that was another wonderful opportunity, because I was able to watch many hearings and trials on drug cases, murder cases, rape cases, and have an opportunity to listen to the police officers testify, to see if they violated individual rights, constitutional rights, and assist the judge in drafting decisions. And I did that for a couple of years. And, when people's rights are violated, the evidence is suppressed. It can't be introduced against them at trial. So we had, numerous decisions in the New York Law Journal. And from there I went on to, people suggested that I become a judge, and I was like, I have to be in the trenches. I really can't imagine sentencing a human being, even though there are people who deserve to be in jail. I couldn't imagine having that power. I'd much prefer to, be educating people about what their rights are, and defending individuals. And so I went into private practice, and that in this October will be 10 years. So
that's wonderful, very admirable. And in regards to what you're saying, why don't you tie in for us? How did you come to know Abel Ortiz?
Well, Abel Ortiz called me because he needed some work done pro bono, and obviously it was a case that was, I think it's internationally known, unfortunately, because of the, what occurred at Central Park that day during the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And when he told me about his innocence, he sounded genuine. And so I had, 2 attorneys working for me, 5 people on staff, and I had a suite at the Empire State Building, and I thought, this is the whole reason why I became an attorney, to help people who really were in need. And he did not seem to be getting the assistance because of his, income or the position that he was in. He had a wife and 2 children to support when he came out of jail. And so he came in and he provided many hearing minutes. He provided more so, what was more important was the footage. And I took the time and I viewed it, and I was astonished that, I could see him assisting women who were being, pushed and shoved and, inappropriately touched. And I couldn't understand, based on that, why he would have, or how he would have been convicted.
So what was your role? How did you assist him with his certificate of appealability?
It was just a matter, issues came up that he had legal questions, and so I would do a little research, and we would discuss the facts, and we would discuss the research. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to do the appeal myself, but he would, we would meet, or we would speak over the phone, and I'd take the time and also discuss it with other colleagues of mine about which direction that he could go in, that hopefully it would not only be viable, but it would be successful. And I'm very happy to see that, the issue that they broached was the one about the riot, New York Penal Law 240.06, riot in the first degree. And it's just, I'm proud that this is something that's being addressed by the Second Circuit Federal Court. that his right to due process, right to fair notice was violated, and it's something that they're considering under the facts of this case, because unfortunately he was convicted for actions that others engaged in at a time that he was not there. And obviously the language of the statute is clear. It states simultaneously with 10 or more other persons engages in tumultuous and violent conduct and thereby intentionally or recklessly causes or creates a grave risk of causing public alarm, and in the course of and as a result of such conduct, a person other than one of the participants suffers physical injury or substantial property damage occurs. So, I mean, for the incidents that